Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of The Slovak Mountain Man. In today's episode, I shall be telling another lovely tale. Today's story shall be about stealing a Game Boy Color, and how that got me locked away in jail. So after smuggling one from some toddler back in the park, I made a quick getaway and luckily found the perfect disguise nearby. So I stole that too and put it on quickly before anyone noticed that I was the same thief. It worked like a charm and I was pretty much invisible at this point. That was until Chris followed me all the way back to Slovakia and alerted the police that I robbed him of his Game Boy Color, who then devoured his donut so fast that you'd think that it was just a plain old bagel, and pulled out his cardboard weapon right at me. And so I zigzagged my way past those bullets like I would any other day, and eventually hid behind this giant garbage can. And I had to think on my feet, otherwise I'd be locked up for a really long time, even though I legally bought this Game Boy online with my own cash. And then that's when I heard Officer Phil mutter to himself, "This may be the big break I've been looking for. Boss even said I could get 2 bagels if I catch this guy, so hopefully he doesn't hear me muttering to myself, 'Hey, where'd he go? He was just here.' You know what? After 40 years of not catching a single thief, I've had it with this mustache. I don't even like bagels. I'm going back to donuts. I have my weapon too while you're at it. These sunglasses are now yours, kid. I'm not even a real officer, but I sure did look cooler than ice out there." With the two of them distracted, I crawled out from behind the garbage can and planned my next move. That was a close call, but I should be safe now, or at least I thought, until this sudden pain stung alongside my arm, only to reveal that I've actually been shot. An injury like this could be the very difference between life or death, and I was too beautiful to die just yet, and decided to lick the blood right off in hopes of healing the wound myself, when I realized that this isn't real life, and this isn't real blood. I'm actually in a video using ketchup for comedic effect. Otherwise, things could have been much worse.
This video is not actually sponsored by ketchup, but I'm talking real fast about ketchup to make it seem like I'm actually talking about ketchup and all these greasy finger-licking ketchup side effects I show on screen.
But I didn't let that bother me, and looked over to see if the coast was clear. It seemed almost as empty as Lavender Town, without even a single soul in sight. So I took this chance to start the game and begin my journey with Pokemon Crystal. That was until I heard, "Hey thief, I'm not done with you just yet. My name is Chris and you stole my Game Boy Color. With this ultra rare gold Charizard card, I'll summon Exodia the Forbidden One to take you down." And without any hesitation, I noticed a Dragon Ball fumbled out of his pocket. I've never actually seen one in person, so it was as if time itself slowed down for this very moment. But what happened next literally changed everything. Good thing the anime happened before the games, otherwise I wouldn't know what to expect right now. It was none other than the fearless swamp demon Bulbasaur in all of his might as he let out an angry roar and charged up to give chase to his target, who just so happened to be me. So after taking a bullet to the leg, I limped away as fast as possible, but Bulbasaur was quick and maintained top speed within seconds, each step faster than the last. I had no chance but to fear for my life. He was closing in and I needed a plan now, which is when I remembered that I actually had a card up my sleeve too, and threw it in hopes of stopping him in his tracks. There was no time to think or even check what would appear out of my last act of despair. I was desperate to escape and needed all the help I could find, but I kept running either way, and noticed the ground itself began to shake in suspense, when suddenly Psyduck the Dark Magician magically rose from thin air. "You shall not pass!" And just like that, he was down with a single slap. My one chance of living to see another day defeated in one hit. But Bulbasaur wasn't done just yet, and turned back to finish him off, first by stomping on the wizard's sorting hat, and then squatting over to let out the biggest stank of ass I've ever seen. Almost as if to poke fun at this entire situation. It was pretty aggressive too. Steam like that could at least power, half a country and impact anyone's life for at least 3 months. But Valve the Bulbasaur doesn't really think so, and thus the hunt continues. It almost seemed as if my smuggling days were over, as I had nowhere else to go, and he was closing the distance between us fast with every single step. There was no longer a chance to outrun this speed demon, no more tricks to play, and minutes felt like seconds. This was the end of my Pokemon adventure, as Bulbasaur used electric shock to tackle me onto the ground. I was stunned with each hit to the face, and could barely even remember the events that happened next. One punch after another, I lay defenseless, pinned down by by Bulbasaur's heavy weight as my bones crushed under all the pressure. Luckily, I lost enough blood to nullify the pain, enough to actually knock me out there on the spot, and made me think for a while. I've been on a number of life-threatening battles before, but never one that questioned my very existence. Who exactly did I steal the Game Boy Color from? Who is Chris? Then I realized that Officer Phil is Chris, as well as the Dark Magician is Chris, and Bulbasaur is also Chris. Everyone in the comments, they too are all Chris. Even Poogs himself is Chris. But most importantly, I realized that I am Chris. So then why exactly did I steal the Game Boy Color? Well, as a mother of 3, my womanly intuitions told me that I had to visit the park on that day. I wasn't sure why at first, until I heard a lonely cry calling out to me. It was an unhatched egg, fending off all alone in this world. Poor thing barely knew how to walk, so I raised it myself into a fine young dragon, who's gone off to save the world and his own adventures. And with that, I pulled the Game Boy Color out from my pocket and returned it to the rightful owner. As for the dragon, well, I think after 20 long years, it was finally time for him to travel back home too. They grew up so fast and it almost brings me a little tear just thinking about it, but I'm sure we'll see each other soon once more. I bid them both farewell and never heard or saw Chris again from that point on. Hours passed as I lay there on the hard cold ground, thinking that this is how I will be remembered as when I die, either as the thief who stole the Game Boy Color or the hero that brought back a beloved icon. At least that's what I thought, until Officer Phil actually returned to the scene of the crime and blinded me right in the eyes.
What's wrong? Back in a sticky situation? Don't say I didn't warn you. Who's the one playing catch up now? Hey, I'm pretty good at this. These puns come to me from my head to my toes. Huh, you see what I did there? You see what I did there?
While barely dragging me away to the police station. I now sit in prison and have been for a few years, eating turd straight from my own toilet, while writing this here autobiography of the events that happened in my life. It will be a bestseller, I tell them, but nobody believes me. They'll see, this book will be my $1 million ticket out of here, even though Patreons have been trying to bail me loose right from the start. And we've almost raised enough money for that free phone call too. But it's pretty much making peanuts in this poop shoe of a place, so I don't know if that'll ever happen. Let's just say though, that while I've been trapped here, word's been actually floating around that both Crash Bandicoot and Spyro the Dragon have made a glorious return in HD remakes, which I plan to enjoy once I break free in 72 years, of course. And so, ladies and gentlemen, that is the story of how stealing the Game Boy Color put me into jail. Thank you for watching, and see you in the year 2090.